Hello, today we're going to discuss Remind, which is a web or app-based program. That means that you can use this on your desktop or laptop, or you can download the app from your Play Store or your iTunes or whatever app store that you use and use it that way. This program is used for teachers to be able to communicate with their students via text, but they don't have to exchange phone numbers, which can be a consideration for teachers if they don't want their students to have their direct line or if the students or the parents don't want to give their teacher their direct line. So you don't actually have to exchange phone numbers with this. Teachers have the ability to send one-way announcements to an entire group or class, and in that case, they can't reply back to you, but you can just send massive announcements. Or you can allow, there is a setting that will allow the students or the parents to be able to reply back via text. So the teacher would send a one-way announcement to the students, they would get it via text, and then they can reply back to the text, and it would go directly to the teacher to start a separate communication channel. Students and parents can also be allowed to message each other if you would like for them to be able to message each other within the program. Announcements can be scheduled to be sent at later dates, which is great if you are kind of setting up the semester and want to go ahead and put out some announcements to be said at specific times in the year. You can also attach files and links as well as images to these messages. Most of the time they can just be text-based, but you can add additional things. Teachers can see who received or read those messages and announcements that have been sent. Teachers can also view a report and print a report of the announcements and messages that have been sent for accountability or for to print in portfolios or for records. So let's get started really quick with doing a demo of Remind. First, as a teacher, you need to create your Remind account. So you go to remind.com and choose to sign up. You want to include your email or your phone number, or if you have a Google account, you can sign in there as well. You will be asked to put in your first and last name as well as a password that you'll use to sign in to Remind. You'll then be asked to pick your what describes you best. And then you'll be given the option to create your first class. So you can give your class a name, and you need to check if you are messaging people 13 or older. It is okay if you're going to be using parents, because in that case you're messaging the parents who are 13 years or older rather than the students themselves. You then will be asked to search your school. Now you have the option of including the names of your students, parents, or teachers manually or from a Google Sheet or an Excel file if you already have their email or phone number on hand. Don't worry if you don't have this information, because in a second you'll be able to give them the information to allow them to self-enroll. Over here on the left side are 3 different ways you can invite people to join your Remind group if you don't want to manually enter them. First of all is a printable PDF, which gives them step-by-step instructions of how to enroll themselves into the Remind course. You can also choose in-person instructions, where basically they text this number and they include your course code, which will auto-enroll them into the class. Or you can share a link. So you can copy this link and give it to the people who are supposed to enroll in your course, and they can click on it and join that way. You can also connect this to a QR code if you like, to be able to allow them to scan it and join there. This is the dashboard of your main class. Notice it has your name in the top right corner. Or the top left corner. You can look at your account and different features here. Under your account, you can add in office hours, you can change your organization, you can create another class, or you can join a class as a student or a parent to receive messages. Under communication, you can choose to receive push notifications to your desktop or to your phone. Also, under message options, you can allow the parents or the students to reply to your messages. This is something very important you want to check or decide not to check. And again, that is under communication under your account. I'm going to allow people to reply to my messages to reply directly back to me after I send an announcement, so I want that checked. Another great idea is to check to receive copies of your class announcements, so that after you send an announcement, it will also text you with that announcement, just so you can kind of make sure that it did go through. You can also connect other services. A lot of people will like to connect Google Classroom or other tools to their Remind account. You'll also have the ability to download records. So after you've sent several announcements and you want maybe a record of those to turn into your principal or to your dean, or to just kind of keep in your portfolio for communication practices, you can come here at any time, choose download classes, choose your class, choose the start and end date of when you would like those reports, and export them. You'll then get an email from Remind with a PDF of all of the announcements in the text in the announcements that you sent during that time period. If you happen to need to block users, you can do so here. Also notice that on the right side here, you can add an owner. So this would be someone who is another co-teacher or someone who should be able to message your students or the group as well. So remember, students can access or enroll themselves into your course by being provided with the following things. So now, as a student, I'm going to use my cell phone and I'm going to text this number and include this code, which is what they'll need to enroll in your specific class. Now I can see that a student has added themselves into my course, so I can choose to message them directly or I can send an announcement to the entire class. So I'll send a message directly to them by coming to my class and choosing beside their name, send a message. Keep in mind, while also typing a message, you can attach a file. This is what the student view looks like when they receive a text message from Remind from the teacher. Notice that it says the teacher's name and it converts the attachment into a Remind link so the student can easily access it. This is also what the teacher view looks like via the Remind app. It looks very similar to the desktop version that allow them to see the communication between back and forth between teacher and student. Also, they can type a message, attach an image or a file, as well as create a voice recording. Remember, teachers can create messages and reply to students via the Remind web-based program, the Remind app, or via text message. Also notice by looking at the student view that the phone number in the top left corner is not the teacher's number, so no exchanging of actual phone numbers has occurred. In addition to messaging students individually, which will be listed under Conversations, you may want to send an announcement to the entire class. Choose the class under the announcements and then type your message. Remember that you can also attach files, images, or other similar files. Also notice that you can schedule these announcements to be sent out at a certain time. This is great if you want to take time at the beginning of the semester and go on ahead and schedule reminders throughout the entire year. In addition, you can choose for this message to be posted to different platforms as well, probably in particular Google Classroom if you use that learning management system. After sending this announcement to the entire class, you can choose the announcement and you'll be able to see who and what percentage of the group read the message. You'll also be able to see who the message was delivered to. And interestingly, you'll be able to see if anyone had an error in receiving the message. If a student or parent replies back to this announcement that was sent to them via text message, it will show up as a conversation file and they will be able to see it. You'll be able to see it under the conversation area. Remember, when students or parents reply back to your announcement, it's not a group message in that everyone sees their reply. It replies directly only back to you. Also remember that while teachers can use the web-based version of Remind, the text message version of Remind, or download the app for Remind, all the students or parents really need to do is use their text messaging system. It's not necessary for the students to download the Remind app unless they want to, or to use the web version. And again, to make sure that students can reply back to your announcements, you would just need to go to Account, communication, and make sure to check allow replies to your messages. Lastly, to download the report, you'll choose Download Records, choose your class, choose your time, and export. Within a few minutes, you'll receive an email with that report. And that's it. Those are the basic steps for using Remind.